Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text, we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the narrative lectionary, and we're still in Mark, and we are looking at the story of the young man that runs up to Jesus and says, "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus says, "Hey, what does the law say? What have you been taught? What do you know?" And he says, I've kept all of these commandments, and they have this conversation, and then Jesus says, you lack one thing. Go and sell everything and give it to the poor, give the money to the poor. And the guy goes away because he goes away sad because he's got a lot of stuff. And then it moves on, and Jesus says how hard it is for the rich to get into the kingdom of heaven, and all those wonderful feel-good things. Anyway, so what do we do with this? So what I'm doing for the children's sermon is I'm using a bag of rocks. Yeah, a bag of rocks. And the idea is that I am going to have a little bowl with a bag of rocks, and I'm going to have another bowl. And I'm going to talk about how Jesus asks the young man to sell everything and give that money to the poor, and stressing on what everything is. And so I'm going to take a handful of the rocks, and I'm going to move them over to the other bowl, but I'm still going to have some in this bowl. I'm going to go, there we go. I got rid of everything. No, I didn't. I mean, I still got stuff in the bowl. So I pull over a little bit. And I keep moving it over. Keep moving it over, and I'm going to be left with one rock there, and I'm like, oh, this here's my favorite rock. This is the rock that I love this rock. This is I love you, rock. Some silly stuff. I'm not getting rid of. I can't get rid of this rock. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I don't. So does that mean that Jesus doesn't love me? No. What it means is that left up to my own actions, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do to get eternal life. Nothing. Christ is taking care of it all. Jesus took care of it on the cross and the empty tomb. Christ takes care of it all. Now, all of my actions are in response to that, but Christ takes care of it all. So when I say, what must I do to gain eternal life? Jesus tells me what I must do, and the fact is that I can't do it all. I like that rock. So that's the direction I'm going. And then I'm going to take another step. And the kids you can decide to do this or not. It borders on this choice theology. And so that's what I'm humming and hawing, but I like the idea of using the object this way. Giving the kids, or taking the rocks and giving them to different adults in the congregation, so that when they come forward, when it comes time for communion, if you have communion every Sunday as they come up, we have our baptismal font right up front. If you don't, you could set a bowl with water. And the idea that when they come up, and as they come up for communion, they place their rock in the water, or they place their rock on this table, that they are, in a way, they're praying that God might help them give up the thing that they can't give up. And it's not, and I say, now that I say it out loud, it's not necessarily bordering on choice theology of meaning that you choose Jesus, because Jesus always chooses us first. But as we come forward to leave the rock, and these are $1, so spend $5 and get a bunch of them and have your congregation take them when they come in. The usher gives them a bulletin and a rock. And just make sure the sermon is good, because you've armed them all. So anyway, you've got the rocks, and that's the direction I'm going. Giving them as they come forward, they can leave that at the foot of the cross at the waters of baptism. So hope this can be useful for your own thinking around your children's sermon. Please like and subscribe, and wherever you get your Dollar Store Children Fix. You can check out other things around the first Sunday in Lent at the dskidsermons.com. But always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a fantastic week.